Hi, I'm Kevin, producer on Transference.
So tell us a little bit about Transference for people that haven't heard of it. I guess over the last 2.5 years that I've known about it.
So Transference is a first-person narrative exploration game where you explore the home of a brilliant but troubled scientist and his family. Imagine being trapped into some kind of escape room set in a deranged mind, a corrupted digital simulation made out of the collective brain data of his family.
So one of the things that people do know is that you guys are collaborating with some pretty famous people. So tell us a little bit about that collaboration.
So it's the first game collaboration with Perspective Vision, a movie production company co-founded by Elijah Wood and his partners. It's been since 2015 that we're working together on this project. They were very interested in the medium and see what they could do with us, some kind of a merge between movies and games. And this is how Transference born.
So when I first saw it, I guess it'd be about 2.5 years ago at E3. It was purely VR. Now you guys are going to release, I guess, on VR and on just regular consoles. So what's the difference between the two gameplay experiences?
Well, first, the game has been made from the ground up for VR. We think that this medium was very interesting to have more deeper storytelling. Also, if you think about the different themes of the game, the singularity, this digital consciousness, we think that it has some kind of a resonance with the medium. But we also knew that the storyline would be very interesting for non-VR players, and we thought that it would translate effortlessly to the non-VR platforms.
Is there any gameplay difference between the two?
Not that much. It's really the same game. With VR, you can have those motion controllers, so you can see both of your hands and track. Right? But playing with the gamepad, you can do pretty much the same thing: exploring the environment, interacting with items, observing them with a closer look. So, no difference between the two.
On the VR side, is it room scale VR or is it just standing in place VR?
It's an experience that is best played seated.
Seated? Okay.
1 second. Your screen went black.
Yep, totally normal. So, the first demo that I played was all about a kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome. So this demo seemed to be completely different than that, though. So, I'm still. This is the second time I've played it. I still have no idea what it is thematically about. So can you give kind of the broad strokes about what Transference is really about, or would that give too much of a story away?
Transference is mainly about Raymond Hayes. He is a brain data analyst.
He's the guy with the really awful brown tie, right?
Exactly.
That tie is horrible.
Exactly. So he has been conducting experiments on PTSD patients for years, trying to help them by collecting their memories and uploading new memories. But behind that, he had this utopia of eternal life and digital consciousness. Finally, he hit a groundbreaking discovery by fully realizing a digital consciousness. And as you can imagine with the new demo, his experiment subjects were his own family. So the demo from last year, it is called the water test case. It shows one of these experiments with PTSD patients he had. And this new demo is a 15-minute slice from the beginning of the game, and it's all about he and his family. So none of the content from the water test case is in the final game.
Okay, so that was just kind of that was literally just a demo, kind of a pilot episode, if you will.
Yeah, we see it as a prelude to the events of the final game that takes place several years later.
That actually makes me sad, because that was such a really good episode. It would be really cool if you guys could find a way for people to experience that, even if it was just a demo.
Actually, the water test case demo will be out on PlayStation 4 and PSVR on Monday for free.
Awesome. Very cool. So, one of the things that I really enjoy about VR is something that you mentioned. It's very tactile, especially with the motion controls. Is there anything that kind of sticks out to you when you play in VR about that experience that kind of hooks up with? I don't know. I guess where I'm going with this is, when people play in VR and they have that mental connection, that VR experience of being in first person, have you had anybody like fall out of their chair, or anybody like freak out? Like the end of the demo, which you guys will see, this monster comes out at you. Have you had anybody kind of like wig out and flip the controller or anything like that?
Well, we actually had one person yesterday. When the monster showed up, he really had to remove the headset at the very last second. But yeah, this level of immersion in VR, we think it's really brought up by the fact that you just cannot escape what you're looking at.
Right.
If there's something
there's
in
really
front
no way
of
to look away.
Yeah, if,
Right.
if there's something in front of you, you might look away, and there might be something else.
It may be worse.
Exactly. So these plus the visuals and the sound ambience, that it really envelops you and creates this level of immersion.
So for people that can't play in VR, they can obviously play the console experience. So people that can play in VR but have motion sickness, what kind of things have you put in? I saw that there was some darkening around when you move. But what other things have you put in to kind of help people combat motion sickness?
So we have the chance within the team of Transference to have engineers from Eagle Flight that develop these super solutions for VR comfort. So we brought back these blinders that you're mentioning, that occlude the peripheral visions that really help with the comfort. But we really think that the VR comfort is very specific to every one of us. So our approach to it is to offer a bunch of customization options. So you can either add more blinders, change the way you rotate in this world with snap or smooth rotation.
Okay.
And on the opposite side, we knew that there were players that were expecting to have, let's say, a full experience with no helpers, and this is why they can also deactivate these options.
Does that include like when I was tuning the radio? I saw on the side it said, kind of give me a clue as to what I should be looking at. Can you turn those things off too?
These clues are maybe the only mentions to try to guide you through the game, but all in all, we really wanted to play on the player's curiosity to find out what's the next step. There's no mission or there's no guidelines in where you have to go. So these clues that are very embedded within the universe with these computer sciences language, these are there to try to help you a little bit to understand how to solve the puzzles and overcome the corruption.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the level that's just kind of red herring, right? There's the flute, there's this card, there's just all the random trash that we pick up in our lives that had nothing to do with kind of the level. So I can see why you might leave those in. But
by observing these items, you can also learn more about the characters. It's really their house, as it could have been in a cinematographic scene. So if you pay enough attention to each of these items, this is how you will piece together the mystery behind their life.
So about how long is the experience in total?
According to our playtest, the whole game can be completed in between 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours, okay. And when are you guys releasing? And that's later this year, right?
Yeah, it'll be available on the 18th of September on PS4, PSVR, Xbox One, and PC with Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and also non-VR.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.